phones charged, lights on, pretending we don't know. But the forest is silent, the river's running low, and the flame on our plates is the strongest fire we throw. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. 7 boundaries broken, the earth pushed past the line. Climate, land, species, fresh water, chemicals, nutrients, oceans in decline. Not danger, disaster in real time. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Metafoodians rise, this is your power. And here in India, one truth stands the same. Milk is not just milk, dairy feeds the flame. Cows and methane, fields and forests turn to grain. Politics, culture, carbon, all wired to the same chain. Every cup of curd is heat in the air, every block of butter is a forest repair. It's not a small habit, it's a planetary affair. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is our hour. Energy fixes half the hurt, Dr. Rao made that clear. But food fixes the other half, the half that's burning here. Change the plate, change the land, change the future's atmosphere. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Metafoodians unite, this is your choir. Every millet, every fruit, every sapseed, every bean is water on the wildfire of a world we've never seen. Every oil-free bite is a river turning clean. This is not perfection, it's direction. Not pressure, but protection. A week of choices can cool a generation. A company's courage can ignite a nation. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. Metafoodians unite, Metafoodians ignite, sharing love in the metazone, light in the path to a cooler home. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Together we rise, together we inspire.
Welcome to the Planet B podcast, where truth, transformation, and faith converge. Join us as we flip the script on ecological despair, guided by Dr. Sailesh Rao's vision for a compassionate, rewilded vegan world. Let's begin the journey to the greatest transformation in human history.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the Planet B podcast. And today we are going to explore how each and every one of us can help create Planet B. Wonderful. So, Dr. Rao, if you don't mind, let's start with this wonderful opening quotes by Kevin Anderson.
Yeah, Kevin Anderson is a climate scientist, and he said the situation is so urgent in the environment that we have to do everything you can possibly do and then a lot more. So it's literally saying, give it everything you have. And I think that's the right attitude, because we have to, all of us together, have to see if we can pull this back and see if if you've gone past the point of no return or not.
Wonderful. And you begin chapter 30 with the quote, "If you are not already active, then it is time to get active. If you are already active, then it is time to get more active." Why is it important for not only people at this time to move towards the vegan lifestyle, but also to encourage the ones who are already vegan to become what you call pro-vegan?
Oh, well, the pre-vegans to pro-vegan. This is what Abhinav Ubuntu is talking about. And he has this Veganers Academy where he teaches vegans to go and advocate in such a way that those who are not vegan at least understand what the vegans are trying to do.
Mm,
And then they say, okay, even if I'm not vegan, I'm pro-vegan.
right.
So pre-vegans to become pro-vegans. That requires, basically telling the story of Planet B. We're all doing this transformation, and vegans are just a little bit ahead of you. That's all. Otherwise, we're all on this journey, right? Everyone is going to come along eventually. I'm absolutely convinced of that. And so this is why, it's pick your role. How are you going to contribute to this?
Right. And you discussed four different roles within this transformation at the beginning of chapter 30. So if you don't mind, we could go through those one by one. And the first role are the trailblazers.
Yeah, the trailblazers are the intellectuals, the vegans, the ones who are ahead of the curve. They're the innovators who are getting out and trying new things. And so they know there is something wrong and they're trying to solve the problem. So there are lots of innovators and trailblazers out there now. So every vegan is a trailblazer, because you've gone out of the herd and you're saying, I'm going to do something different. Right?
Right.
Every vegan is fundamentally a trailblazer. But then there are others who are not yet vegan, but they're working on other aspects of this transformation. They're trying to clean up the chemical pollution. They're trying to reduce fossil fuel use. They're all trailblazers. Everyone who's trying to help the planet is a trailblazer. It's like you're getting out of the system and trying something new. Now it's coordinating all of us together. That's what we need to do. So that's the first kind of people who are going to help the transformation, the trailblazers. And the second are the illuminators. These are the storytellers who tell the story of Planet B, and they make it enticing so that everyone wants to join us. Storytelling is so important in human affairs because of stories that we come together and we create a herd, right? A herd believes a story. That's why we're all together. And so we need a story that can inspire all 8 billion of us to join. And that's the role of the illuminators, to tell that kind of story. And the third type of people who help make this transformation happen are the protectors. And the protectors are the ones who protect Planet B from Planet A. Because Planet A is trying to kill it. We are used to this way of living and we don't want anything different. But the protectors are saying, look, you may need it because you may not have a planet if you keep going this way, right? So you need protectors who are funding Planet B projects, who have made money in Planet A, but they're deploying it to help Planet B come to fruition. So they're the protectors. And the fourth are the hospice workers. And they're the ones who are helping systems on Planet A die peacefully. No, seriously, because Planet A is in hospice, right? Because Planet A is, in its death throes right now. You can see it. All its stories, nobody's buying its stories, and the institutions are falling apart, and you can see it happening now. So Planet A is in hospice, and your hospice workers are those who tell Planet A, it's okay to die. It's okay. We can take these resources and build something new with it on Planet B.
Yeah.
So those are the four kinds of people who work on transforming Planet A to Planet B. But at any given point in time, you can be playing any one of those four roles. So every one of us could be playing any one of those four roles. It's not like you are an illuminator and that's it. You don't do anything else. Sometimes you're an innovator, a trailblazer. Sometimes you're a hospice worker. Sometimes you're a protector. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think just kind of going through these individually, like you mentioned, the trailblazers are the ones who are vegan now, and as we're moving into the vegan world, more people are jumping towards Planet B. It's sometimes challenging because there's a lot of pushback. But like any trailblazer, when you're going against the norm, then there are going to be those challenges.
right. Yeah. They're going to call you extreme, all kinds of,
Yeah,
labeling, right? And then you have to point out to them, what is extreme? Trying to heal the planet, is that extreme? Really? Isn't destroying the planet extreme? Isn't killing 90 billion animals every year extreme? So, what we consider extreme and what we consider to be normal is flipped
right.
in planet A versus planet B. It's exactly the opposite, right?
Yeah, but it's interesting when you talk about Ubuntu, like when I watch his videos, like everything he does is about love. Like so
Absolutely.
it just in Dr. Rao, what you talk about as well too. So it's this calmness, this positivity that radiates, and then that brings people into it just through that loving feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Because love is the only solution. You know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Love is the only way out of this. And we see a way out. We know that there is a way that we can establish scientifically is the best thing to do. You need to help people come along. Yelling at them is not going to do it, right?
All right.
So you have to show this quiet confidence that this is going to happen.
All right.
Okay. So in my mind, we are already in planet B. We're already in a vegan world. In every engineering project that I worked on, I always said, in my mind, the project was done. Why? Because I had
Mm,
already mapped out how it's going to be done.
yeah.
I had written a guide. This is what I normally do. I write a guide for all the others as to what I see is the way forward, okay, to the best of my ability. And then people refine it. So my initial model that I created for the internet, people refined it. And then
Mm,
we implemented it. Refined it based on people coming back and saying, hey, it's actually difficult to do it this way. If you just tweak this, it's better. It's easier. I said, okay, I'll accept it. And I put it in the model, right? And I test it and make sure it does work. So similarly, I'm trying to write a guide for Planet B. How do you do this transformation from Planet A to Planet B? And so there, again, it's this role that you have to pick, what role you have to pick. And everyone, you say, what do I do next? Now that I've done this, what do I do next? You have a precise algorithm for picking how to do the next action. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is the dialogue between man and God in the Hindu scriptures. And basically man is telling God, hey, you're God, so why don't you solve the problem yourself? Why do you want me to fight this, right? Battle of life. And God says, I fight the battle of life through you. So
mm,
you're my instrument, so you have to help me. And then he gives him a formula for how to find the next right action. So he says,
mm.
everybody has a role to play. So we each come with our strength and we are trying to push planet A into planet B. So how do you find your role? So first you consider, what are you good at? What would you really like to do? If you had all the options in the world, what would you really like to do? So that's what
Mm,
is known as Swadharma. What is the right thing to do for myself? Swa means myself. Dharma is what is the right thing to do. Okay?
mm,
What is the right thing to do for myself? Then you consider your family circumstances. So that's called Kula Dharma. So what is my family? What is the best interest of my family for me to do? Okay. Third is Yuga Dharma, which is what is the right thing to do for the age that we are in. The age that has ice melting in the Arctic, extreme weather happening all over the place. So what does that tell you is the right thing to do? And the fourth is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma literally means what is the right thing to do on the basis of love and compassion, okay, which is universal principles. And he says, okay, consider these four aspects and then choose. Okay. Choose, act, let go of the fruits of your action. So meaning don't be attached to the fruits of your action. Evaluate and repeat. So you keep at it, right? You keep at it. You never give up. And so why do you let go of the fruits of your action? Basically, it says the results of your action are not in your hands.
Right.
It's in the hands of the universe. It's in the hands of higher power. And so if you intended to do something and that didn't happen, and you shouldn't get frustrated.
Right.
So if you're attached to the fruits of your action, if you're attached to the results, you will get frustrated because it didn't happen.
So true.
Right?
I think we all feel that one.
Right. And so he's saying it didn't happen not because your intentions were wrong. It's just that there were other things in the universe that you couldn't overcome because you're just one person trying to do it.
Right.
So you have to then dispassionately evaluate why it didn't happen and figure out the next course of action for yourself. And you can only dispassionately evaluate if you're not attached to the fruits of your action.
Right.
So if you're able to step back and say, okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I see why. I should have done it this way. And then you go about doing that. So it's, you're pushing this way, and then finally something gives, and then you go through, right? And that's planet B. And then you bring everyone along. So we have a good news to tell people. The best way forward to address all 7 planetary boundary transgressions. Okay, I've evaluated this. I've been studying this for the last 20 years, and there is nothing else that comes anywhere close to what vegan rewilding can do. Go vegan and rewild the planet. There is nothing else that comes anywhere close to that. It's simple and it works, and it involves everybody. So when you involve everybody in a non-violent action like that, you will achieve world peace.
Yes.
So it's a way forward for both world peace and planetary health. And that's what excites me about this, because people have been looking for world peace for such a long time.
Yeah.
And now that you have a common purpose, a common mission, right? Of course, there are people who are going to say climate change is not happening. But they're the same people who are fighting over who gets to rule the Arctic as the ice melts, They clearly know the ice is going to melt.
Yeah.
Which means they've been pretending that climate change is not happening. They know it's happening.
Yeah. I think it's wonderful too when you illustrate this story out of the Bhagavad Gita that highlights that God is calling man to action, and that God works through all of us. Like that's part of our role as humans on planet Earth during the greatest transformation in human history.
Yeah, that is radical sacredness. Radical sacredness is seeing the divine in everything. Right? And that's what I said. We are transitioning to veganism and radical sacredness. So this is really, the Garden of Eden coming back.
Yeah.
Returning to the Garden of Eden. And it's a metaphor
Yeah.
that a lot of poets have talked about it, lots of novelists have talked about it. And it's just that we now have to actually do it. And that is, to me, the greatest transformation in human history, where we really set out to accomplish what everybody has been dreaming about.
Right. I think it's important that, like you talk about, and Ubuntu Ubuntu talks about, is just being a trailblazer with compassion, because it's everyone wants peace. They want world peace. Everyone wants a beautiful planet. Unfortunately, we've all just been taught into this system, and some people are just a little bit more seeing it than others at this time. But that doesn't mean that other people won't come along for the ride. It just means that maybe we need to be more loving, more compassionate, and just be there for them when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone will find their place in it.
All right.
Everyone has a gift to give.
It's exciting because it is the solution, and everyone wants world peace. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
I really believe it's going to happen very, very soon. Maybe even this year.
2026 is the year.
Right. When people accept that we need to do it, and then we'll be figuring out how to really do it.
Yeah, very good. So at the end of chapter 30, you provide a quote from Lord Krishna to Arjuna, which is, "I love you so much that I set you free even from me, and you are free to choose."
Love always comes with freedom. You cannot coerce someone. Coercion is an act of control, and that comes from fear. And this is why Lord Krishna told Arjuna, even after giving him all that advice, he said, you are free to choose whether you want to fight or not. The same thing we have to do with every human being. We have to say, you're free to choose whether you want to come to planet B or not. Right? But there'll be majority of us are going to go there eventually, right? And then you're going to feel like, oh man, I've been left behind. And then you'll come along. Everybody will come along eventually.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then right at the end of your final chapter here, you say, a system based on love on planet B has freedom at its core.
Right. Absolutely. Because of that, yeah. Freedom at its core. Freedom is a little messy, but it's like seeing bees flying towards something. Not every bee makes a straight line, to where it needs to go. There's some bees are wandering around.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
you need them too. Those who are wandering around, they may find a better flower to go to.
All right.
So you have to allow, diversity of opinion. You have to allow diversity of ways, and know that everyone has their own path to come to. So it begins with faith, knowing that this is going to happen, and that you're part of something much larger, and that you're just an instrument.
Yeah.
So that faith, I have acquired it thanks to my granddaughter. So that's helped calm me down, For 15 years now. Yeah.
It's interesting because even that wandering bee, it comes back to the hive eventually.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Rao, as we wrap up chapter 30, what closing words would you like to share with our audience today?
I am privileged to be working with all of you, and it's my greatest joy to be alive at this time.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rao, and we're all excited to be here too, because Planet B is coming in 2026 is the year.
There you go.
So thank you all so much for joining us. If you made it through chapter 30, wow, it's been quite the journey. So thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Rao. And we do have one final episode in store, which will be the epilogue, the Hero's Marathon Journey. So if you've made it this far, I hope that you'll make it through episode 31. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you again. Bye.
This has been a podcast from Planet B, where compassion isn't controversial. If you haven't moved here yet, we thank you for visiting.
We are almost there. Any questions on this? Okay, Sai.
Hi, Dr. Rao.
Mm.
I was just wondering that regarding giving choice to people, but I think if we explain them and then if we give them a choice, it's one thing. But
Mhm.
they don't want to listen. Most of the people who already know about veganism, I think they don't want to listen. They just
Mhm.
close their ears. So how can we even get them to listen?
Oh, don't
Is the
worry about
challenge.
them. Go to those who want to listen first
Okay.
and get them on board first. Because it's frustrating for you to talk to people who don't want to listen, and it's frustrating for them. They don't want to listen to you. So focus on those who are on the fence or close to the fence,
Mm.
and help them come along. And then as more and more of them come along, there'll be more and more people coming towards the fence,
Right.
right?
But
And
time is our enemy here, I think.
yeah, how do you create um, a quick rush towards the solution? That's what we
Yes.
need to figure out. Okay, that's the main thing that I'm focusing on this year. How do you create a quick rush towards the solution?
Speaking of quick rush, it reminds me of the hockey stick
Mm.
graph you talked about.
Mhm.
Like, does the data suggest from the past years that it's like increasing and it's increasing? I don't know if it's increasing linearly or a little exponentially. I don't
Yeah,
know.
when I
Have you
look at the
plotted the
data,
data?
and
Data
look at
of
the data,
vegans, vegans are in the world. Yeah.
right. So it was increasing, and it was definitely showing an exponential curve until
Mm,
2019.
yeah.
Okay, then something happened, and it kind of wavered around, right?
Right.
And
Right.
and to me, that is the um, Planet A fighting back, calling, making veganism a bad word, and attacking plant-based meat as highly processed and ultra processed, and all this campaign that happened around fighting veganism. That's the result of that. Okay, so it kind of tamped down, but the system did not address the root causes for why people were going vegan exponentially in the first place. Okay, they did not address the ethical issues. They did not address the environmental issues. They did not address the spiritual issues or health issues. Health is getting worse and worse and worse, and the abuse of animals is getting worse and worse and worse. The environment is getting worse and worse and worse. So to me, that was like bottling a volcano, is what they've done. Okay. So this is
Okay.
why I expect a rush to as the cap opens and the volcano is going to erupt. Okay. And It's inevitable. It's going to happen that way.
Mm.
And the sooner the better, right? So this is what I'm focusing on.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows the term vegan, I think, also.
Yeah, everybody knows the term vegan now. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And they're saying, if you use the word vegan, I won't come near you, right? A lot of people are like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but to your point regarding 2019, so it's kind of counterintuitive, or like that if a pandemic didn't turn us vegan, what else would?
Well,
So
what
it's
was the
kind of
pandemic?
mind-boggling, actually. Why didn't the world turn vegan by now? Like, it's been 5 years since we
Right,
had the pandemic. So why
right.
didn't the world turn vegan by now? It's like kind of mind-boggling. Do we? I
Yeah.
mean, doesn't don't want another pandemic for sure.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, why it's, but all I know is being suppressed. And even during the pandemic, they declared slaughterhouses to be critical infrastructure.
Oh yeah, I remember in FM we had ads that you eat chicken to increase your immunity. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's when, once they declared slaughterhouses to be critical infrastructure, that's when I assembled people to write that Animal Agriculture is Immoral book.
Mm. Okay.
Because I wanted a declaration of immorality of what they're doing.
Right.
And I think almost every faith leader, it came from every faith angle in that book.
Okay. Oh, great. Thank you.
Sure. Danny?
We have two questions from Michael.
Okay.
First question is, what was the source for the visual and intersections between the four dharmas?
No. Amit did that. And, I don't know where he got that visual from, or whether he did it himself.
Okay.
I think he was saying yesterday that he used a chat GPT to get this. I don't know if he got the image from chat GPT, but he used the help of chat GPT to formulate this whole thing, is what I understood.
Okay, and the second question is from environmental and public health perspectives, what would be your most potent counterpoints to those who are big-time proponents of regenerative farming with the use of animals? Thank you.
Yeah. Regenerative farming, where you ensure that the soil does not get depleted. In fact, soil accumulates more carbon over time. If that's the objective of regenerative farming with animals. First of all, you're using more land to do that than the other way of doing things. So every study that I've seen shows that, you're using more land. And I tend to do a global sensitivity analysis. So I say, if everybody raised land that way, where is that land coming from? In fact, when you use more land, where is that land coming from? It's coming from a forest. So that's where new, fresh land is being taken every year. Okay. And is that the kind of substitution you want to do? Replace a forest with regenerative grassland? Okay. Because that's literally monoculturization of the planet is what we're doing. We do that. So it's going to impact biodiversity loss. It's going to make biodiversity loss much worse. And it's going to kill us off faster if that's what we do. So that's how I address that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead.
All right. I just wanted to say that I have seen more talk this week about animal ag being a problem. It seems like people are all of a sudden becoming a lot more aware of the animal ag issue in pollution, in everything. And then there was some report that came out that got everybody really grim, even on the news this morning. And unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to the name of the report, but it had to do with biodiversity. And I guess it's been out for a few weeks, and it was softened greatly because I don't know why they did soften it, but still it was talking about biodiversity and how bleak it is right now. And so I thought, well, good, at least they're noticing it and they're not just talking fossil fuels. They're, so I think that's good for us. It's like people are going to start being more receptive because they'll be aware of it. It won't be like a total shock that they can just deny.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's it. I said this morning that, I'm seeing a tremendous openness to my message. I've been saying the same thing for 15 years. So suddenly I'm seeing more openness to this message. Like as I said, when I submitted the abstract for my paper last year, I wasn't expecting them to even consider it. I was expecting it to go into a black hole. And I was shocked when they said, send us the full paper. And I'm shocked when they published it. Okay, so to me, that is a huge turn that happened.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
2026.
2026. Yeah.
That's right.
And I've been invited to come and do the keynote for the EarthX conference in Dallas. So, which is again,
yeah. They're noticing you. They're saying he's got a different message and nothing else is making sense. And for some reason, all of a sudden he's making sense. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because, I do root cause analysis, okay? Because I'm in engineering work. I do root cause analysis and figure out why things work the way they do and how you can create systems that work the way they should. And that's really what is needed. Rebecca?
Good evening. I'm thinking about tipping points because, and I'm wondering if maybe we should work on some areas. Like one tipping point might be when Bill Kibben says, yes, veganism, that's it. Or when one city said no more meat advertising. We'll make a few steps forward, but then somebody will rebel against it. But do you have any? Do you think people should still just follow, like you said, what they should do, and then their family, or should they kind of keep those tipping points in mind and think maybe I ought to not talk about it at this location, but maybe I can go and talk in this location, or maybe something like that?
Yeah, you need to pick and choose where you want to put your energy, right? That's what this whole the four dharmas are about. That allow you to choose where you want to put your energy, and how you can refine your strategies as you go forward. But yeah, how do you tip? I mean, it's very hard to tell, right? What is the tipping? It's only it becomes clear in hindsight.
Right.
Yeah. Not at the moment that it's happening. Who knows? Maybe Minneapolis is the tipping point. Who knows? Okay. People are saying, no, I don't like the monoculturization. It's the same mindset, no? Monoculturization of human societies and monoculturization of the planet.
I was thinking about that today, but I don't think that's the motivating force. The motivating force is probably power. But yeah, I don't think they're thinking let's make everything quite an easy, for me. What do you
Well,
think? Or is that
I mean, you get statements from our president saying that Europe is weak because they are uh, allowing themselves to be mixed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant.
It is pretty blatant.
So you have to face up to it.
Pretty
Yeah,
blatant. Yeah. And the
yeah,
people that he doesn't want in Minnesota, he doesn't want a certain dark skinned group there.
right, right.
So it is
So
mono culture,
monoculturization. I mean,
mhm,
basically, like humans saying that those forests have to go because we need it for our cows.
mhm,
Okay, so you're devaluing diversity, and you're saying, and this is typical of capitalism. Capitalism says, I make the most money with this, which means that's the one that I need to promote more
mhm.
compared to anything else. And tiger living in the wild does not make money for anybody.
Right.
So if you convert that land into grazing land and raise cows on that, you can make money. So whatever makes the most money is promoted, then you're going to get monoculturization of the planet.
Wow.
This is why it's all connected. Everything is connected.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Jenny?
Um, 1 second. Oh, I have like one comment and then I have a question too. So I'll just say my comment. I think my comment is that I think whether or not people know what veganism is might just be like the circles that people currently run in. Because I'm finding the people that I'm interacting with, like people at work or things like that, like they still don't know. Um, like I had dinner with some colleagues and they were like, Jenny, we think we bought vegan options, but we're not sure. Can you read these ingredients? And I was like, sure, no problem. Or actually another um, thing I ran into was someone had asked me if I had any dietary restrictions, and I told them, but I think they thought that vegan was short for vegetarian because when I showed up to their house, there was no meat, but there was dairy, and it was just like a misunderstanding. So anyway, I just wanted to say, like, I think there's still like basic education that still needs to be done.
Correct.
So just probably depends on who you're interacting with. Um, and then, okay, so then my question is, when the diagram that showed like everyone has a role, um, and like you might play a different role at a different time, but what if you feel like you don't fit into any of those categories? Or what if you don't know like which one you could best contribute to?
Yeah, these are broad brush categorization of roles. It doesn't mean that you have to find something in that role. So long as your intention uh, is to build Planet B, you will find something that you can do,
Mm,
and you will discover that it probably, you know, spans a few of those roles altogether.
mm. How do you figure it out though?
Oh, that's the four dharmas. You have to think about what is the right thing to do for yourself, what is
Mm,
the right thing to do for your family, what's the right thing to do for the age that you're in, and what's the right thing to do for on the basis of love and compassion. And then meditate upon it, and you will choose based on that.
mhm. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, Sai.
As BJ was mentioning about those reports which came out recently, it would be great if you can see what those reports are. She was mentioning about biodiversity, right?
Right.
So I was just wondering that why do we have only one
Sorry, you're getting cut off.
aren't there more such organizations or research institutes which do it on a regular basis annually? That's one. And why is the data 4 years old? Why don't we have the latest data? That's one thing. And also, don't we have any report? If not globally, maybe there are some studies like this at India level or country level, where
Mhm.
which we can analyze and get it maybe localized, projections towards, is it going so bad? What is the current status of biodiversity in India or in some other
Mhm.
country?
Yeah.
To Yeah, these are all the
Well,
questions related to biodiversity. I was just wondering.
well, John Doyle, who was in the European Council for Sustainable Development, ECSD, he told me that even the World Wildlife Fund and all these reports are all um, cooked up. I mean, they're not accurate. It's much worse.
Oh,
Okay, he said it's much worse, and he's been yelling at his colleagues, saying, when will we face up to this and start doing the right thing? So anyway, we
is he vegan?
yeah, he was vegan. Yeah, he passed away. He's
Oh,
vegan.
sorry.
He was
Okay,
vegan.
sorry to hear that. Okay.
He was a fierce advocate for veganism within
Oh,
the European Commission.
oh,
But unfortunately, the system is set up right. So it's like it's a colonial system, and you are extracting from the colonies, and you are creating a um, luxurious, a better lifestyle for your people by extracting from the colonies. And they were all scared that if you really address the problem properly, their lifestyle will decrease. Or the main motivation for holding on to it.
yeah. Yeah, but why don't they do it annually? This report, and aren't there any other global level organizations which do these studies at all?
Well, it takes a lot of it's a huge network that they have built over the years to do these surveys, and
Mm-hmm.
he and it takes, so it's creating that network again, and then they have a certain cadence that they've been working with. So it comes out every 2 years, and it takes 4 years for them to compile the data because it's far flung. It's from all over the world. You have to get the data.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose since they have been using the same methodology for the last, I don't know, umpteen years, I suppose they could be using better tools and accelerating it. But you know what happens with institutions? There's inertia.
Yeah.
And if you change something too much, you know, people are scared what will happen to it, which is really what's driving our current system also. People are scared what will happen if you change too much.
But as they say, change is the only constant.
Right? Yeah.
Change is inevitable. Also, to my question, like, are there any local studies like with which we can gauge the present situation? Because right now we only have this data. So maybe
Mhm.
if we have the latest data from some other localized, I mean, country level or even at a smaller level.
Yeah. I don't know. You can check, your local area, see if, and find out, if anyone is involved in it. Maybe institutions in your neighborhood.
No, when I say local, I mean at least at a country level, if or a state level.
Country level, I think, there are national governments usually do surveys like that.
Right.
Yeah, you can check. But I don't know how accurate they are.
Mm.
So they have a motivation to make it look good, even though it's not.
Okay. Maybe countries like who are more sustainable or vegan friendly, like those countries might not cook up the data, or countries which are poor, uh, in like in Africa or some other continents, maybe they will not fudge the data. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Just can you tell his name, by the way? Like just type, if you can type it in chat, that person's name.
John Doyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look up his, he's got a bunch of videos on YouTube also.
Oh,
Actually, he passed away last year, suddenly.
oh.
He was organizing a conference and then he passed away during that.
Okay. He'll be directly born in Planet B. Or
Yeah.
let's hope he doesn't.
Joji?
Yeah. So the IPCC assessment report, right, number 5, that gave me an idea of, the scope of the initiative. This is kind of following on to Sunny's question. And it's, to me, I mean, at first glance, it's mind-boggling. And it's remarkable they managed to boil it down to that block diagram, which, as you know, I had a little bit of difficulty figuring it out still. But it's amazing work, and I can see how it could take such a long time because there are so many reviewers, editors,
Right.
contributors, and it's got to come from all over the world and put together, and everybody has to agree before they make it a paper, right? And it's only chapter 11, all right, the one which has the block diagram. So it's a tremendous. I'm frankly surprised that something like this gets done at all. It is so big. But the second thing I wanted to mention is something that occurred to me, which, in the context of colonialism 2.0 and thinking about what Gandhiji would do in a situation like this. And as you certainly know, and maybe other people in the call, he used to go on fasts when he found things difficult to change people's hearts, right? And I was thinking, and maybe you have thought about this, others have thought about it. So any comment would be very welcome. I was thinking a sort of a fast on a personal level might be a way of getting the word out, educating people. And by sort of fast, what I mean is when you have group meals, you tell the people you are having the meal with that, if the meal is not vegan. Let me start with that, and I have qualifiers to that a little bit later. If it's not vegan, that you will hold a fast. You will not eat, because it's not vegan. And this could be a drastic step in some environment. So you may want to tone it down as something a little bit more palatable, like saying, if there is meat on the table, I won't eat, right? And then kind of has a topic of conversation. People would ask, why is it? And then you get a chance to talk about planet A, planet B, veganism, horrendous violence that's going on and where it's leading the planet, etc. And I think, of course, there will be circumstances where you can't do it. I was thinking like you are in a flight among strangers, you can't say, I won't have my meal on a transatlantic flight or international flight because others, the guy sitting next to you is having some, meatball and pasta and things like that. But maybe it's possible to do it with immediate friends and family where there won't be a whole lot of blowback, but I think there might be blowback even there. But that might be something that anyone and everyone can do if they're so inclined. So wanted to share and wanted to get thoughts.
Yeah, that's the kind of approach that DXC was promoting. Is that don't sit with anyone. So it's like that. That's the liberation pledge. It's a pledge saying that I won't sit with anyone who's eating animal foods. I'll sit apart from them.
Mm.
So it's not necessarily fasting, but sitting apart and eating.
Mm.
It's a very good question because now that our classmate Raju has arranged a talk for me in Chennai
Mm.
on February 5th, and that's with the leadership group YPO.
Mm.
And so they have been talking to me about what food should they serve.
What food? Yeah. Mm.
And I said vegan. Okay. Now they've come back and said, is 80% vegan okay?
There we go.
Right? Precisely your question now comes out. Do I sit with them and eat?
Yeah.
And I told them, look, after my talk, people are going to feel guilty if they don't. So why not just for one meal make it vegan?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can think about it. Then you don't have to bring that into. See, that consideration does not come up when you're asking questions or talking to me because you don't have that guilt to begin with.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a strong disconnect. I mean, you're talking to somebody talking about you're listening to somebody talking about veganism while you yourself are,
Right.
cutting into some chicken or whatever, even dairy. But at a personal level, when you're dealing with family and friends, maybe it makes sense to take it in small steps rather than just tell them, entirely vegan, say.
Right.
And I'm taking this from my personal experience because my family is carnivore, so it would be a big challenge to say, oh, vegan food, So
Right.
I'm thinking, no meat.
But
If there's meat, I won't sit with you and eat. Yeah.
But it's a good point to bring up, because we're thinking about what is that big push we need to do.
Yeah.
Create that rupture this year, right?
Right.
And this could be it. I don't know, Georgie. Think about it. Maybe if every vegan says we're not going to eat with anyone who's eating animals, and we're going to fast if they're eating animals around us. I mean, it will make a huge impact because there are 100 million of us, right?
Yeah.
If everybody did it.
Yeah.
But that's something that Mark McCormack has been promoting. This fasting.
Yeah.
But he's fasting to, I see. Initially, I wasn't enamored of the idea because it reinforces the notion that veganism is about deprivation.
Veganism is about, I'm sorry?
Deprivation.
Deprivation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to give that notion, right? So I'm saying it's about abundance. It's really not about deprivation. But there is a common theme, right, in people's minds. I'm giving up something, as opposed to saying I'm actually increasing the variety of food I'm eating. Because literally, you know, eating animals is about monoculturization. It's really reducing
the variety. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I was thinking maybe we'll think about it. We'll figure out what is this.
Yeah. I was thinking of a way how each and every one, you know, powerful or powerless, you know, how to bring power to the powerless or something, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
How do we blast into the consciousness of the mainstream?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes, thank you. Oops. I wanted to let you know, since you're talking about this, not sitting at the table with somebody that's not vegan or not having vegan food. I've done that a couple of times. One, we were at the bar getting ready to order food to go sit down at the table, and I don't mean drinking bar, but anyway, we were there, and it was a place we were so happy. I was so happy because it had a lot of vegan food, but it had some non-vegan food. And she ordered. She was getting ready. She said she's going to have that, and I said, "Well, I won't feel comfortable at the table if you're going to have that. We've got vegan options here. Let's try some of the vegan at the table. And she said, you're trying to tell me what to eat? And I said, I'm just telling you, I will feel more comfortable if we don't do that. And she kind of stormed and was like this, and I love her to death. She's a good friend. And I said, oh, you're still mad at me, aren't you? And she said, no, I'm mad at myself because I know you're right. Now, so she hasn't become vegan. She's consuming a lot less of those animal products, but I know that she was thinking about it, and that's happened before. Whenever I have done that to somebody that they know I love them and I love them and they love me, it's happened. Not with close family, though. Can't do that with close family. Anyway, but maybe if there was a bandwagon to get on, like you're talking about, that would be good. Anyway, I wanted to address that because that was brought up in the chat.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to send an email out to everybody shortly. Everyone who's registered will get an email shortly that we are going to do the same thing on Sunday, February 1st. Okay, so both morning and evening Pacific time. And that's just to close it out. And hopefully, I can ask you all questions about what worked, what didn't work, how can we do things better. And then we'll have a survey that we want to send to everyone. See, why didn't you join? If you registered but you didn't join, why didn't you join? What was wrong with the way we did things? So anyway, so please watch out for that. It will be the same link, same Zoom link. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
The house is burning, but we're still sitting in the glow. Phones charged, lights on, pretending we don't know. But the forest is silent, the river's running low, and the flame on our plates is the strongest fire we throw. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. 7 boundaries broken, the earth pushed past the line. Climate, land, species, fresh water, chemicals, nutrients, oceans in decline. Not danger, disaster in real time. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Metafoodians rise, this is your power. And here in India, one truth stands the same. Milk is not just milk, dairy feeds the flame. Cows and methane, fields and forests turn to grain. Politics, culture, carbon, all wired to the same chain. Every cup of curd is heat in the air. Every block of butter is a forest repair. It's not a small habit, it's a planetary affair. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is our hour. Energy fixes half the hurt, Dr. Rao made that clear. But food fixes the other half, the half that's burning here. Change the plate, change the land, change the future's atmosphere. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Metafoodians unite, this is your choir. every millet, every fruit, every sapseed, every bean is water on the wildfire of a world we've never seen. Every oil-free bite is a river turning clean. This is not perfection, it's direction, not pressure but protection. A week of choices can cool a generation. A company's courage can ignite a nation. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. Metafoodians unite, Metafoodians ignite, sharing love in the meta zone, lighting the path to a cooler